just a little less right. Dark, they're not afraid of the dark. Oh, oh. chrisqmurphy.bandcamp.com. Happy Tuesday. Happy New Year. So awesome that everyone is here. Happy Tuesday. Happy New Year. I'm so excited that you guys can be here with us. If you're watching on Instagram right now, you might not be having the best experience. And I urge you to jump over to the YouTube or the Facebook stream, because you are getting a cropped image, my friends. But if that's the way you like to look at me, that's cool. Let's have a Tuesday, shall we? We'll talk more about the new year in just a little bit. The werewolves are howling. The vampires are creeping. The men hunker down as the women start weeping. And the teenagers are all getting stoned in the park. They're not afraid of the dark. They're not afraid of the dark. Be it sickness benign or highly contagious, they laugh in the face of the things most find dangerous. They'll wrestle them gators and swim with the sharks. They're not afraid of the dark. They're not afraid of the dark. Summer sun just burns up the calendar's pages. But when the evening comes, another day lost to the ages. You slow down to see it unfold and find out you're just getting old. Now we're humbled in horror of that terrible menace, stiff hushed and all like a crowd watching tennis, while they laugh unaware of our youth's fading spark. They're not afraid of the dark. They're not afraid of the dark. Thank you. Happy Tuesday. Happy live stream. Happy New Year. It's good to see everyone here. I'm so excited. I'm Chris Q. Murphy. For those of you that are uninitiated, I'm so glad you're sharing this Tuesday evening with me. We'll be here for about an hour, talking, singing some songs, you know. I generally have guests on the show, but to be quite honest, I've received a couple of, I know it sounds crazy, complaints that I'm not playing enough songs on my show. So I'm going to go ahead and start the year off just all by my lonesome, playing a bunch of songs that I wrote, because that's what I do. We'll return to our regularly scheduled program with complete musical guests and chat next week. Now, that first song that I just did was a single that I released back in 2016 or so. That was the A side of the single. And I'll go ahead and play the B-side single a little bit later, because in my mind, singles still do have A and B sides. It took me a long, long time to get out of like album thinking and get into the mindset of like singles are okay too, until I kind of put the perspective / spin on it that when so many of my favorite blues, jazz, country, and R&B recording artists throughout the 30s, 40s, and 50s were going into the studio to work, they weren't thinking in terms of albums. They were thinking in terms of sessions, in terms of work, and the record company would decide later on what they were going to put out on each record. Each record, of course, having an A and a B side. So when I put out a single, I like to have both sides on it, and I'm going to continue to do that. Why am I concentrating on singles tonight? Because I have a new single and video that's dropping in a couple of weeks. On Friday, January 22nd, 1, 22, 21, I have a new single coming out. I'm so excited about it. There's going to be a video coming at it, recorded, or I should say created by Gary Melfa one of my favorite video artists. He and I have collaborated on stuff before, and I couldn't be more thrilled. For those of you that are into my typical like lo-fi stuff, I'm sorry to let you down, but this one was recorded in an actual recording studio with expensive equipment and microphones and shit. We were doing a little experiment and seeing how the world likes it. But the video, well, I can't vouch for anything but the awesomeness of the video. I don't know how fancy microphones and equipment are going to be, but that's why I like Gary Malfa. So like I said, that's a single that I put out back in 2016, a song that I've been playing in my set for a very long time. This song right here is going to be the new single. As a matter of fact, this is the A-side of the new single. I'm very excited. It's called No Sand. For those of you that have been watching for months and months and months, all the Tuesday night live streams, waiting for this song to come out officially, well, you've got it. Here is No Sand, which has been one of my favorite songs to play over the last 9 months or so. Drops as a single and a video on the 22nd of this month. Goes something like this. It was sooner than I thought it was going to be, but somehow sadness still got the best of me. Found me with my pants down, caught me with my heart hanging out. And in the moment when I owed an apology, I'm down and my pockets came up empty. I guess I'll have to pay for this in blood. Man, I hope I still have enough. Oh, I have nothing to give anymore. Nothing's washing ashore. No man's junk nor treasure. Yes, I've dug deep, and all I see is sand. And even that slips through my hand before I can measure just how much it has gone. Tell me, how can you measure just how much it's gone? So singing praise and gratitude's gonna help you out. And remind you that you're not just apologize, but you can only try so long before you give up on the song. I try to paint a picture of despair for my friends and foes, but I scare them by it being too on the nose. Looking to distract the heart, don't you know? You gotta bring your own shit to the song. And I have nothing to give anymore. Nothing's washing ashore. No man's junk nor treasure. And I dug deep, and all I see is sand. And even that slips through my hand before I can measure just how much is gone. Tell me, how can you measure just how much is gone? You're too tired to hear me out. Too tired to hear me out. But can you see me? 'Cause I'm standing right here. So come on and have a look. You can't find this in a book. Come on and take me by the hand. We'll make love up here. I can't do this on my own. So let's make love up here. We'll make love up here. 'Cause I have nothing to give anymore. Nothing's washing ashore. No man's junk, no treasure. Yes, I've dug deep, and all I see is sand. And even that sand through my hand before I can measure just how much it's gone. Tell me, how can you measure just how much it's gone? Woo! New single, that's the one, coming out on the 22nd of this month, this year. 1/22/21. No Sand, complete with a really cool music video. It's going to be so awesome. Please check it out wherever you check out music, whether you're a Spotify person or an Apple Music person, or you still like downloading and buying things on Bandcamp or iTunes or whatever it's called this year. Check it out. It's going to be there. Now, I am very excited that one of the reasons I developed that song, even though it's been around for a minute, is because I've had a really faithful and fantastic audience hanging out for most of my live stream history, which goes back to May. There's a handful of people that have tuned in practically every single week. And it's been exciting to be able to entertain them, see what they like, see what they don't like. It's almost like I have a core fan base. Who knew? One of the things I've tried to do is that when they ask for something specific, I try to give it to them because that's how I roll, right? So this is a requested dedication going out to my friend Dr. Matt Ucia in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He asked me to play this song tonight. This is a single that I released way, way back in 2012 while I was playing with a band called Chris Q. Murphy and the Fiendish Thingies. It was co-written by me and my wife, and it's called the Dog Track Song. Oh, the men at the track line up at the gate with their forms in their hands and a smoke for the weight. The dogs on the line with their toes in the sand and the old-time tune of the high-stakes band. Mama, don't let me go down to the dogs tonight, 'cause I'm feeling low and things won't come out right. 'Cause betting is the meanest kind of hope we've got today. And when I've got the money, Lord, I play. Oh, the ponies are prettier, the lotto is cheaper, casinos give you drinks to gamble off your fever, where the football pool is honest and those dice can be weighted. But down at the dogs, things are less complicated. So mama, don't let me go down to the dogs tonight, 'cause I'm feeling low, things won't come out right. 'Cause betting is the meanest kind of hope they've got today. And when I've got the money, Lord, I play. Now you don't need no manners, you don't need no talent to know what it's like to chase that goddamn rabbit. So when the dog's away and the band starts up their hurry, my money's on the 6, and I ain't got no worry. Well, the dogs will never catch that rabbit. The odds are never in my favor. The syndicate will always win. I'll never make my wager. When the lights come on and those saps fill up the stands, I'll stand there like a king with my money in my hand. Yeah. So mama, don't let me go down to the dogs tonight, 'cause I'm feeling low and things won't come out right. 'Cause betting is the meanest kind of hope they've got today. When I've got the money, Lord, I play. When I've got the money, Lord, I play. The Dog Track Song, written by me and wifey. That's right, about actual dog track racing, which I believe was just shut down in the state of Florida. Like in the last week. Like they were still having dog track races. Like where their dogs chase around an electrical rabbit. What the fuck kind of Florida nonsense is that? Like, that shit only happens in Florida. Where the fuck else would that happen, that you train a dog to chase an electrical rabbit and then have people bet on it? Like, that's either from a fucking Warner Brothers cartoon or Florida. Those are your two options. And that's what the song's about. A single that came out in 2012. As I said, we are here celebrating the release of my new single coming up on January 22nd, 1/22/21. So that was the Dog Track song. That was the A-side of the single that came out back in 2012. I was backed by a fantastic band called the Fiendish Stingies, kind of a traditional Nashville country band, honky-tonk group. I had a piano player and a mandolin player and a pedal steel player, and it was just fantastic. We played the shit out of that song. And we played another song, too, that I remember I wrote it so I wouldn't have to play Hank Williams songs in my set anymore. Not because I don't like Hank Williams songs, because I figured I should have as much original material in my set as possible. So I wrote this song called Truant Heart. You got a funny way of not talking when you've got something big to say. Instead of looking at me, well, your thoughts just drift away. Is it to a time in our distant past when I was at your beck and call? Or was it to some other time when I wasn't there at all? Sometimes I think you're better off without me. Instead of standing around hoping I'll be there. 'Cause it's hard for you to do anything, doubt me, when I'm never home to tell you I still care. Well, you left a note in my guitar case saying, darling, come home soon. Stop your rambling, stop your gambling, stop your howling at the moon. When I came home 3 days later, you guess your pleas had gone unheard. 'Cause even though I read it all, well, I never said a word. Sometimes I think you're better off without me. Instead of standing around and hoping I'll be there. 'Cause it's hard for you to do anything but doubt me when I'm never home to tell you I still care. Well, the note you posted at the door said more than mere words could. And the empty dresser drawers confirmed that you were gone for good. So I guess I'll keep on rambling, for a rounder's bound to roll. And besides, without you waiting here, well, it ain't much of a home. Sometimes I think you're better off without me. Instead of standing around and hoping I'll be there. 'Cause it's hard for you to do anything but doubt me when I'm never home to tell you I still care. Truant Heart, ladies and gentlemen, the B-side of a single that I put out way back in 2012. I'm excited to be featuring this single. I'm pretty excited to be playing these songs for you tonight. I'm excited to be celebrating my singles discography. As a matter of fact, everything I play tonight has been released as a single, and with the exception of the new one coming out, they can all be found on all of the usual platforms, whether you're a Spotify, Apple Music, or whatever person. You can check out my music there and listen to these singles. That was a B-side called Truant Heart. Now we're going to take a couple steps forward into the bold year of 2018. At the beginning of the summer, I released a single, which was kind of like a double A-side. It's something the Beatles pioneered back in 1966. I cannot decide which was going to be the A-side or the B-side of the single, so I just called them both the A-side of the single. The song was originally improvised in a live setting and then edited by a very good friend of mine, and it turned into this song called Never There. Even though I don't think he's watching tonight, this one goes out to my good friend Niall Connolly, who always requests this song when we're in the same place. It was Christmas 2004. My dad's girlfriend was going on again about the war. Thinking about her son's march toward death. I must have chuckled and said something under my breath. She said, he's over there and he's fighting Al-Qaeda. Yeah, he's off in Iraq and he's chasing Al-Qaeda. Wrote me a letter telling me he's over there fighting Al-Qaeda. I said they were never there. They were never there. There were tears running down both of her eyes. And of course my dad got up to take her side, defending all her ill-informed views that she'd memorized by watching cable news. She said, he's over there and he's fighting Al-Qaeda. He sent me a video of himself blowing up fucking Al-Qaeda with a Pearl Jam soundtrack. He made it an iMovie fighting Al-Qaeda. I said they were never there. They were never there. They were never there. They were never there. Each year my father writes to me, telling me all about the miles he's acquired. I say, nah, Dad, I think I'm gonna stay up here in my New York City bubble till she's retired. Till she's retired. The next day my dad said, you should have never got her started. I said, Dad, I only giggled and it was only half-hearted. I said, man, how could you love someone so dumb? He said, I guess you'll never understand, my son. He said, you don't know what it's like to raise children. The nerve of that man to talk to me about raising children. And I said, what the fuck do you know about raising children? You were never there. You were never there. You were never there. You were never there. Thank you. Never There. Released as a single back in 2018. Still streamable or buyable on all the platforms. Tonight, like I've said so many times already, I should probably shut the fuck up and keep playing. I'm featuring my entire singles discography. in celebration of my upcoming single on the 22nd. So that was the A side of a single from 2018. Now I'm going to take it back to 2016 and play you the B side of Afraid of the Dark, which I played a little while ago. Now this one is one of the two songs I have that have the most fucking words in them. This is another one that my wife and I wrote together. It used to be kind of a live highlight when I was playing a lot of solo shows. It's called My Father's Dreams. And this goes out to anybody who was raised in the suburbs and is probably going to die in the suburbs. See how many words I remember tonight. Well, Sally, Matt, and Vincent were three archetypal children who were raised in that suburban middle-class malaise. So they read up on beat authors, bought a Dachshund and an atlas, put a circle on the calendar, and counted off the days. Just an hour past graduation, they gathered the essentials with anywhere but here, their manifest. 3 kids, a box of cigarettes, some cameras, and a mixtape, hell-bent, sun-drenched, and drunken on the promise of the West. Where have you gone, Richard Brodigan? For your eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the going against the stream. But what of you, old John Hartford? Just tore down those tall buildings, steaming up the river of my father's dreams, father's dreams. When they rode into the sunset, Sally's feet were on the dashboard, while Vinny strummed his Gibson in the back. Yeah, Matt hunkered down at 10 and 2, his eyes on the horizon, as he drove through each cornfield and each purple mountain pass. Yeah, Vinny played and Sally sang the soundtrack to their travels, gently tapping out the beat on Matthew's thigh. She navigated nimbly from South Bend to Pensacola, gently tapping highway maps with a lover's sigh. And from Brilliant to Defiance and Comfort to Laredo, at Intercourse they stopped by Science to laugh. And with every railway crossing, they looked for city sunflowers and retold parent stories about how they dodged the draft. Where have you gone, Richard Brodigan? For your eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the going against the stream. What of you, old John Hartford? I just tore down those tall buildings and I'm steaming up the river of my father's dreams, father's dreams. It was a motel out past Phoenix wherein Sally cornered Vincent with her hair let down and toenails painted red. She whispered in his ear, I love your penchant for disaster, and then laid her naked body down upon that big white bed. But that old charmer Vincent, he just kissed her on the forehead and then conjured up the wryest smile he could. Gazed into the middle distance, then he uttered this pronouncement, I can only keep from feeling bad when I'm up to no good. But poor Matthew, he knew nothing, focus fixed on the odometer as the pages on the calendar flew by. A laundry list of cities past as Vinny quoted Kerouac, and Sally laughed and tried to put her worldly doubts aside. Where have you gone, Richard Brodigan? For your eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the going against the stream. What of you, old John Hartford? I just tore down those tall buildings. I'm steaming up the river of my father's dreams, father's dreams. Well, they hit the hate at 2:30 with Sally feeling queasy, but Vinny, he just split for city lights. And Matthew looked at Sally, and Sally looked right through him, and they found a place for two to crash the night. Matthew seemed so nervous, Sally seemed so tired, and she turned the covers back and bowed her head. She said, this isn't that romantic, but that road goes on forever, and I've got an extra mouth to feed in a lonely, lonely bed. Some say Vinny died a junkie. Some say he published poetry. Some say that he just kind of disappeared. That don't matter much to Sally. She and Matt, they barely mention him, as regrets and consolations fade with every passing year. And that's how babies beget sullen mediocrity, and they settle down just miles from where they're born. They get medical and pensions, a split level in Metuchen. They diminish every dream they had and every oath they'd sworn. But their kids just shy of 20 say unpack those dusty albums. Let's see every place you went and book you read. And they can feel the yellow pages and the promise of young faces, but can recall the people that they were or reasons that they went. But I can still hear them sing. Where have you gone, Richard Brodigan? For your eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the going against the stream. And what of you, old John Hartford? I just tore down those tall buildings, steaming up the river of my father's dreams. Where have you gone, Richard Brodigan? Your eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the going against the stream. What of you, old John Hartford? I just tore down those tall buildings, and I'm steaming up the river of my father's dreams, father's dreams. Thank you. I'm not going to lie. I would like some extra fucking congratulations for remembering all the words to that song, because there's a lot of them. Because between my wife, the poet, and me, the Jersey boy, who grew up listening to Bruce Springsteen and John Bon Jovi and Harry Chapin and Naughty by Nature, I love a good fucking narrative. And that's a narrative. I had to spill it all out there. But, you know, if you ever want to talk about that song or how your story fits into it, I'd be happy to do so. That's the B-side of a single that I put out back in 2016. I was very excited to do that. There was also for a song that had a music video. I guess I've had a couple of like music videos come out now. I had one for Afraid of the Dark in 2016, another one for the song that I'm about to play in 2018. And then this next one, not this next one, the one I played before, which is the single that's coming out on the 22nd of January called No Sand. That's going to be a music video as well. How fucking fancy am I? So the only song that gives me a run for my money as much as that last one is this one. And I want everybody to understand that I recognize how unnecessary this song is. But I also would like for it to be entered into the canon of literary criticism, because it is a true historiography, if I've ever heard one. This, ladies and gentlemen, is something special for those of you who feel a little special. But that buzzing string isn't going to make anybody happy. Let's see if I can fix that up. There we go. Still buzzing. Who the fuck cares? The Talking Middle Earth Historiography Blues. Now back before they split and reconnected Berlin, J.R.R. Tolkien took out his pen and wrote down what some say was the greatest story ever written. There were elves and dwarves and magic rings and talking trees and other wild things, even inspired Led Zeppelin to write a few tunes about it. And then Peter Jackson filmed that tale, and that shit was epic, but some say epic fail, because he left out some key players from the plot. Yeah, I know those movies were already long, so I guess I'll just have to make up this song about the stuff old Pete fucked up or forgot. See, I'm a dork. I care about this shit, and I've got a guitar and an audience, so here we go. Now, back when Aragorn was just a little guy, his elf named Arwen caught his eye. She was kind of like the Lois Lane to his Clark Kent. Now, I don't mean to come off glib, and I'm usually all for women's lib, but in this case, that's just not how the story went. Now, I know Liv Tyler cost a lot, but half her shit's just some made-up plot, or stuff that was really done by Glorfindel. Check. Maybe it was some box office ploy, or the producers trying to sell more toys, and hopefully we hadn't actually read the books for ourselves. Yeah, she might be nice to look at, but she can't act her way out of a paper bag. So that's all I'm gonna say about her. This ought to give me a run for my money. Wish me luck on this verse. The biggest Peter Jackson omission. Made 3 fucking movies out of The Hobbit, but couldn't make room for this? Long before Lou the Internubial took her Elemental Coil, or the Dark One made Man and Elf Blood Boil, Tom Bombadil and his wife Goldberry lived just south of the Barrow Dam. He called himself a hairy fellow with his bright blue jacket and boots of yellow, talking about himself in the third person with powers of great renown. Now, some say that he was the spirit of nature or Entish master of gnomish nature, or even God himself, just 3 apples tall. But while it's left even the most erudite scholars guessing, old Pete Jackson tried to teach us a lesson by not including Tom Bombadil in his movies at all. Now, I know the time they spent there wasn't thrilling, but Tolkien, he was a real master of world building, and things like the eldest, that's Tom, or what makes him great. Pete Jackson, he didn't think he was important, and when I asked about it, he just sort of shrugged his shoulders and said, haters gonna hate. That's a cop-out. I call bullshit, and I don't have any time for that. Here we go, got a little more to say. Counter-argument. Now, to be fair, Pete made the Ents badass, like that time they all woke up in a mass on Saruman's doorstep and told him to take a hike. And then Grima flipped and sneak attack. He stabbed the white wizard right in his back, and he fell down and got impaled on a big old iron spike. But he didn't really die that way. Gandalf just took his keys away, and he was shut out of Orthanc forevermore to roam. Turns out that he was Shire-bound, and he burnt that shit and enslaved the town, at least till Merry Pippin, Sam, and Frodo came home. Now, Peter Jackson said that was anti-climactic and not cinematic, but I say he's a jackass. So here we go. Now, I've seen those movies straight on through and all the special features too, on Blu-ray, streaming, and HD DVD. And I'll kiss every special effects person's hiney for making look so scary and look glory and so shiny. Without the aforementioned change, the best I give Pete Jackson is to see. And I know books and films, they ain't the same. We could probably spend all night playing this game. Leads first deeper into dark to bound to delve. So despite my Shire folk protest singing, these movies will be part of my kids' upbringing, at least until they're old enough to read the books for themselves. Speaking of which, if you haven't done so, get yourself down to your local big bookstore. They got a copy. They read as fast as hell. Beware of those clever marketing stunts and don't buy the copy that lies wood on the front because Pete Jackson might have changed what's in there as well. Can't trust no one these days, and I ain't buying what he's selling. The talking Middle Earth, historiography blows. That's right. You just heard a long-ass talking blues about Tolkien. Only here, folks. You only hear that shit right here. And if you go on to YouTube and search Talking Middle-earth Historiography Blues, you will go ahead and you will find a really, really high-concept music video for that song. So that was side A of a single I put out in 2018. We're here tonight to celebrate the release of my new single on the 22nd. It's called No Sand, and the B-side is called Mr. Tree. I played No Sand earlier in the set. There's going to be a really fantastic music video for that song, conceived and directed by Gary Malfa. I'm really excited about putting this single out. I'm a little nervous. It's unlike anything I've released before, as opposed to like my normal lo-fi nonsense or like genre affectations. It's just me and a guitar singing in fucking high definition audio. Like shit was recorded on mad expensive microphones at a very nice studio by people that know what they're doing, as opposed to me literally making albums on my phone. To be honest, I'm scared shitless to put it out. But I know it's what I have to do right now, so I'm going to do it. I played the A-side earlier. This is going to be my last song for the evening. Next week, we'll be back with a special guest that I'm very excited to bring on the show. We'll be talking about songwriting and being creative during quarantine. Thank you so much for your continued support. I hope you've had a happy new year so far. Much love goes out to all of you. I'm just going to play this song called Mr. Tree and then sign off. If you want to give me some money, the information is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. I don't look to make a ton of money off these shows, but I do like to cover the cost of my streaming platform, which is StreamYard, which allows me to have these fun little, logos on the screen and all that shit. Anyway, here's Mr. Tree. Have a great night, everybody. Dear Mr. Tree, I don't like your song, but when you sing it, all the flowers sing along. Those flowers sure are pretty, while I think myself witty. They don't seem to listen to me. You've got handsome charisma and dexterous limbs, but that's nothing but a gimmick, well disciplined. So I don't want to be you. Hell, I don't want to see you when you won't even listen to me. 'Cause it's not that I'm much better. In fact, I'm no better at all. It's just whenever I stand on your shoulders, I only end up feeling small. Cause now that I'm much better, 'cause just whenever I stand on your shoulder, I only end up feeling small. I only end up feeling small. I only end up feeling small. So, Mr. Owl, I guess that you'll do, 'cause I could just settle and be like you, and it ain't gonna please me, but it'll be way more easy when nobody listens to me. Thank you so much. I'm Chris Q. Murphy. The new single comes out on January 22nd on all platforms. Hope to see you next Tuesday. Have a fantastic night.